have to eat like slaves anymore because we're not slaves. If you cannot control what you eat, then you cannot control what you feel. Eat your largest meals in the middle of the day, not the end of the day.
What part the homeostasis plays, you're on your way to healing yourself. The homeostasis is the internal environment where your body is at its ultimate functionality for healing. Just keep in mind that everything that is happening to you is happening for you.
All right, everybody. Good morning again. We're so happy to see you. Damaris is here and Jadawa 330 is here. Thank you so much for being here. Wow, really look forward to seeing you as we are preparing ourselves for another wonderful The Mind of Nature. We are talking about the really serious stuff. I mean, it's simple, but it's like the diet. We want to talk about the actual facts, and we're going to talk about some of the fiction today too. So get your pens and paper and tell your whatever you got, whatever tool you have. We want to make sure that we have that all together. I wanted to start off today with a very beautiful I'm going to do this. I'll wait out first. I'll bring up our wonderful Carolyn Gento because this is really, I'm really excited about the show. We're going to see if we can do this with, we say we're going to get out of here in 60 minutes and it's like not been that yet. So Carolyn, good morning to you, and it's great to see you. And you know what you think? You think we're gonna make it today?
Good morning. I think we are. I'm a very optimistic person, so I think we're gonna reach the goal. But no, happy Saturday to you.
And happy Saturday to you too, and happy belated Thanksgiving to a lot of people. And happy holidays and any other of the there might be some other holidays that we're missing, but we wish you happiness on that. Carolyn, so what did you think about, before I even get into that, aren't there's some other kind of day-to-day that has to do with work or something like that, isn't it?
Oh, well, I mean, really after Thanksgiving. So you have Thanksgiving on Thursday, and then you have Black Friday on Friday. And then on Saturday, you would hear Small Business Saturdays. You know, people would shop with small businesses. And then there's Cyber Monday on Monday. So there's an opportunity to shop. Pretty much. That's what it is. That's lined up.
Yeah. Well, like for the people that don't know, like Black Friday, black in terms of financial, when you're in the black, that means that you're in the profit, that you're making money. If you're in the red, that means that you're losing profit and you're not making money. So black is double, like you can look at it in two ways. One is that is the meaning of it financially, but it's also who that color is, who they depend on to keep them in the black. So the blacks are keeping us in the black. There wouldn't be a Black Friday without black people. We definitely go out and we spend, and we'll let the brothers on ease. What is that? Earn your leisure. Earn your leisure, and also those of you that haven't check them out yet. Monday, what is that? Money
Market Mondays, I believe it
Market
is.
Monday. Yeah, so check those brothers out. They're fire. That's really great. There's a lot of
no, I was going to say, I'm sorry. One great way to turn that around as far as Black Friday is to shop with Black businesses,
Yes.
And way that makes it to where it makes sense to be able to do that, because I know that's what I did actually.
Absolutely. That is a great choice. Thank you so much Really appreciate that. Let's see. We have comments already over here. Good. It's hot. All right, Andre. Oh, good morning, Andre. Little brother in the house. Hey, how you doing, brother? It's great to see you. Yeah, it's wonderful. So we want to make sure that everybody gets this information today. For those of you that let them know what they can do to help bring people in today. Carolyn.
Absolutely. For anyone that's watching right now, thank you so much for watching, first of all. And if you can share the live with about 5 people and we'll have them come in and they'll share the live. And we need to go ahead and get the information out there. It's like I've mentioned before. Let's
Carolyn, you're breaking up your voice. You said,
okay,
like I said before, and it.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. I was just saying if we can share the live out. Oh, thank you. Andre says he's going to share the live, and I really do appreciate that. Andre, if everyone that's hearing me now, even on Instagram, if you can share that live on Facebook, share the live on YouTube, share the live. Did I say share the live already? Okay.
That's all right. You keep saying it. It sounds great.
Yes. So you can be a part of the conversation as well. Thank you. Let's see here. Today's topic is diet, facts and fiction. So that's going to be a great topic.
Thank you, Carolyn. You know, one of the things that we miss when we talk about nutrition is talking about ourselves. And nutrition doesn't make any sense if you don't know you, if you don't know what you are and what you're about, your limits, the game changers, and also the deal breakers. You have to know these things. And many of us don't know before we step into something with the unknown or some challenge. Remember, we have a better chance of accomplishing our goals and having our goals make sense when we have an idea about ourselves. You know, I want to read this, everybody, as we are waiting for people to come in. And this is written by Nelson Mandela, or the former president Nelson Mandela, in 1994 inaugural speech. It goes like this: our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, to be gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Nelson Mandela. So we start off with that because it's so important that we know what we are. Our self-worth is our internal sense of being good enough. And it's also important that we understand the worthiness of love and belonging. So when we talk about whatever it can be, whatever subject it is, know yourself first. You've probably heard that saying, know thyself. So it's knowing yourself first. This is super important. And the reason that it's so easy for us not to take care of ourselves, part of that, in my estimation, what I've perceived for years, is that when you don't care about yourself, when you don't care enough about yourself, it's so easy to trash yourself because you have no value. So you will eat anything, you'll drink anything, You won't exercise. You will make jokes out of very important statements about yourself, like, man, you would feel better if you only took care of yourself, and if you're proactive. Nobody wants to hear about that when they don't care about themselves. So it's super important. This when it I don't want you to get self-worth confused with just self-esteem. Self-worth and self-esteem are two different things. So self-esteem relies on the external factors, and self-worth relies on the internal factors. So the external would be like your successes and your achievements and awards and that kind of stuff, right? So let's be consistent with the belief in ourselves and the way that we look up to ourselves. I know it sounds like, oh man, that's kind of conceited, isn't it? No, this is caring enough about yourself that you'll do more for yourself. So it's super important that we do those things. Okay, so we let's move along to why do you experience a loss of identity? And the loss of identity, when we are as Black people, we're in an identity crisis anyway. We call ourselves everything: Negro, colored peoples, the N-word, Black folks. It goes to African Americans, American Africans, and that to me right now is really a distraction. There are some other things that I would prefer, like original people. We are the original people, regardless of where you are, who you're talking to, and not so much the color. But we'll do that. We'll get onto that next time. We put ourselves in a position to go to do better, but we don't take the necessary steps. So the healthy food that we eat, the healthy drinks that we drink are specifically there to make us healthier individuals. Before I continue on, I want to go to Carolyn so that Carolyn can add her gold bars to it. And we want to say 2 cents. We, add your gold bars to what we're talking about today. And those of you that Damaris and Jedwa 330, please feel free to make some comments and your questions, and so we can go ahead and entertain those too. Really want you to get involved today. Whoa, it's over here. Facebook is jamming. Michelle Gento has jumped in the house now. Yeah, good morning to you also. This is a really exciting topic on. We're talking about the facts, and we're talking about the fiction of diets. Okay, so Carolyn, take it away.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today here in the Mind of Nature with your host, Dr. Ari Zarif, and I'm his co-host, Carolyn Gento. Today's topic is diet, facts, and fiction. As I mentioned earlier, if you can please share the live out. Share with at least 5 people, bring them in so they can be a part of the conversation. I see, again, Andre Brown, thank you so much for joining us. Michelle Gento, hey, thank you so much for joining us. Hey, good morning to you, Shirley Gentle Smart. Thank you so much for joining us. And Dr. Zarif, I will bring it back to you.
All right, we got a lot of tinkering around here. What's going on? All right, everybody, it's great to be here. Welcome, everybody. We were talking about these diets and the facts and fiction. But as I said at the beginning, right, the opening, it all comes down to yourself. We've been taught not to really feel and care about the worthiness of ourselves. As a matter of fact, some people are so far off the marker, they'll do things like things that are hurtful to themselves. If you are there, we want to bring you back because we need you here. We don't need to lose any more warriors as we've done over these years. We need to change our outlook. So again, self-worth is the internal sense of being good enough and worthy of love and belonging from others. And that's why family is so important. That's why social gatherings are so important. Remember during the epidemic, people were like, I need to be around people. So self-worth is often confused with the self-esteem, which relies on the external factors such as successes and achievements and define worth, to define the worth, and can often be inconsistent, leading someone to struggling and feeling worthy or unworthy. So self-worth is super important. What I'm talking about don't even make any sense. I like a lot of the stuff that wouldn't make sense if you don't care about yourself. So if you don't, like you look at yourself and you just put trash in your body, then you can pretty much expect that you're going to get some kind of unfavorable responses from that. We don't need to know what you're eating. My job is to share with you some of the things that you can do to change it if you're not eating those things that are healthy. But again, we got to get this identity out of the way. Many of us actually feel that we are not worthy of eating. We feel that eating healthy food. So we continue to eat the soul food. We can some people think the more soul food that they eat, the blacker they are. And it's like, that's the farthest thing from the truth. We need to look at these things so that everything else will make sense. And as long as we continue to allow people to say here, feed us all of these different lies about the different systems and the different lies about ourselves, then we continue to behave in a way that pushes us backwards. And we need to move forward, and we need to move upward. In my book, The Slaves of the Tongue, there's deeper explanation about our behavior. But we know that the food that we are eating now, we're eating foods that are they're a reflection of struggle. So when we eat these foods, it's like you're struggling. That's why it's easy to eat, like damn near anything. People eat anything. And I'm talking about, don't mention to me about, no, that's the way we did in Africa. That's the way we did back in the day, because that is straight fallacy. I won't be so harsh, but that is not true. Okay, so let's look at a few things of why do we experience a loss of identity. Well, number one is that we put everyone else's needs before our own. That's number one. When we focus on others and neglect ourselves, we fail to recognize the value of ourselves and our needs. We minimize who we are and what we are, and we also neglect what we need. So it's when we turn this world, we make these adjustments to really find out more about ourselves. Just imagine, that's why relationships don't work. You don't know about yourself and you're jumping into another one. Most of our relationships that are started, they start through a physical attraction. So people lead with the sex, they lead with their body parts. And that only lasts a little bit, just as you find out real soon if that's what you're leading by. But when it comes to something that deals with you, you should find out as much as possible about yourself so that you can place that particular interest and that importance and have that align with the multiverse, with the universe, with your religion, with what is important to you. Okay. Number two is that we disconnect our thoughts and our feelings. Hold on just a second here. Little green tea. We disconnect from our thoughts and our feelings. We commonly keep ourselves so distracted and numb with alcohol, with food, with drugs, electronics, and all those other distractions that we miss the important information about who we are. So let's get to that just a little bit. Your distraction. What are you distracted with? Like a lot of things, you can distract yourself with other foods, other people, other places, with money, with all of this stuff, and you can forget all about yourself. Well, the people with deep pockets want you to forget about yourself, because then they can tell you what to eat and when to eat it and how to eat it and how much to pay for it. So we just want to change that narrative. If we can change that narrative, then we'll make our own decisions and we'll choose better foods and better drinks. Okay, because if you don't do that, as light as it sounds, eat right, and you will hear people and they'll look right at you and say, man, shit, I want to eat me some, I want me some, you know what I mean? It's, you know, that's just so outdated. When you eat something that you know that can hurt you, and you just put yourself to the side, you neglect yourself, and you're distracted with the ribs, and I'm like any other person. I love the idea of being around family. I love the idea of having good food to eat. But if I know that I'm around family and I'm eating food that can hurt me or hurt my family, I got to make some changes about that. And if you continue to eat with this idea that soul food is black food, then you're making a huge mistake. You know, soul food has to do with a struggle. That's the food that was made to enjoy. Yes. Oh yeah, we can make damn near anything taste good and maybe even look very good. However, our knowledge helps us to understand that putting anything in your mouth, and I know sometimes I keep going over this because food is so addictive. It is highly addictive. And as long as you have it in front of your face, you know, and you eat it and it tastes good, then you're going to keep on eating it. It's just like as simple as that. I wish I could say that, you know, I could tell you something and then you would say, oh, I'm not going to drink. I'm stopping all that alcohol. I'm stopped smoking all that weed. You know, because you would treat me just like you treat anybody else that you don't want to hear it from. But when you know that some of these life transitions and these changes are important because of what you are and what you are worthy of, then we have a whole different perspective of how we deal with health. Health is super important. It makes the difference in how we experience life. Okay, so I'm going to just go over this and then we'll stop and we're going to switch just a little bit and get into some of the diets and some of the facts and some of the lies about, you know, the way that we eat. Here's some questions I want you to ask yourself just to know yourself better. Number one, what are my strengths? What are my strengths? So, you know, what is strong about you? What is strong about you? You want to find things that you say about yourself. So when you think about yourself, you smile, you feel good, you embrace it. If you're around people that are shooting that down, you need to get away from them and have them get away from you. This is your life. And the thing about it, when people tell you, oh, go ahead, I eat that all the time, your body isn't like their body. Some people can drink Coca-Colas one by one and their skin will just remain smooth. It's their DNA. But some people, if they drink a little bit of this acidic formula, they'll break out like crazy. And they'll have all these different pustules, and they'll have the acne vulgaris. You got all this acne all over the face. So we want to definitely be a part of us that make better choices. Number two, what are my short-term goals and what's my long-term goals? You should not let any day catch you not knowing what to do. If you just get up and say, I don't know, what you going to do? I ain't figured it out yet. You know, whatever. Yeah, you need to have goals every single day. Don't let a day catch you without a project. Number 3, what matters most to you? What matters most to you, and who are my support people? You know, what team do you have? Who can you call? Who can you turn to? Who can you depend on in the case of people? In the case of knowing yourself better, I'm going to bring Carolyn up here now. And instead of me just reading here, Carolyn, maybe you can help answer some of these for me. Let's, what am I ashamed of? That's a question for you. So let's go back, Carolyn. Let's go to some of your strengths. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, how you would simply do this, except you will write it down or you type it down. If I say anything that makes you uncomfortable or you don't have an answer for it, just say pass. Okay. And we'll do this about 4 times. Are you on there, Carolyn? Can you hear me?
I just unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes, there you go. You ready?
Yes.
All right. What are your strengths?
My strengths, I think, would be is being able to think for myself. I'm not easily persuaded, you know, you would hear people say peer pressure. I think I'm pretty good with that, with being able to say, nope, I'm just going to do what I feel I need to do. So I think that's one of my strengths. Yeah.
So this, everybody, is one of the things that you find out about yourself. You know, like most people are just like, when people get together, they're asking things that don't even make a difference in anything, but you want to use your energy every day. And whenever you're approaching people, when you're asking questions, like I talk on a need to know basis. I don't come in and say, hey, put the blah, 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 blah. I don't, you know, you're talking to grown people. You don't talk to grown people like that. So let's go ahead and move on. I'm going to skip your short terms and your long terms specifically because that's your business. But let's talk about short term is things that you're going to do immediately, like within that week, for instance. Long term goals are, for instance, by the year 2025, you're going to own, 45 acres, whatever it is that your goal is. Okay. So we'll go ahead and move on. All right, here we go. The next one, this is for you, Carolyn. Who matters most to you?
Wow.
Let me add this because it might help too. Who matters most to you and who are your support people?
Okay. Who matters most to me? And this is going to sound weird, but it would be me, because if I don't, I'm with me 100% of the time. Right.
Right.
So I matter most to me. As far as support system, I have a beautiful supportive family. My mom, my dad, sisters, my brother, my son. So yes, my family, really great support system.
Beautiful. Okay. So here, if you are in a relationship, for instance, and you're not getting anywhere and there's a struggle there, the struggle you can get out of that and still save your relationship. But if there's any kind of violence and all of that, talking, berating you, disrespecting you, then I would say get an exit plan. Get an exit plan, because you don't want to be a victim. You want to be the victor. Let's go ahead and move on. But that is a great answer. Let's do 2 more of these. What are you worried about? What do you fear? Are you worried about? And everybody else, remember, you're answering this too. You can add this into your comments. And over here in Instagram, and your comments are right here on YouTube and on Facebook. All right. I keep my voice is still waking up. I'm a vocalist, right?
Get your saying on.
me. Okay, there you go. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this, my brothers and sisters. Let's go. So here, you want to answer that question? Who?
Ask the question again one more time so I can remember.
Yeah, you said your family, so that's great. Let's go ahead and say that and your support people. You got that. Look, I want to talk a little bit about that. You got to have a team. You got to have help. You know, I mean, that's the way that we are people that are social beings. And for a person to say, I don't need nothing, I don't need to ask nobody damn thing. I do everything myself. You know, that kind of stuff is just ridiculous. It's ignorant. When you need to accomplish something, reach out, ask for help, because when you don't do that, you stay in struggle mode. There are nearly 8 billion people on this planet. Nobody should be doing anything alone. You don't have to do that. And if you're just doing it just because you want to be able to brag, then, you know, you starting off with the wrong idea in the first place. Okay, so these are just some of the things like, you know, where do you feel safest? What and who gives you comfort? If you weren't afraid, what would you do? You know, if you didn't fear certain things, what's the next step you would take? What are you proud about? All of these things, know that about you. Because even when you meet somebody new and they say, tell me a little bit about yourself. Oh, I like to shop and I like to look at videos, or, you know, some old, you know, whatever that comes up to nothing. It's very, very important to find out your strengths. Let's go ahead. You want to read Andre's strength?
Absolutely. Andre Brown. My strengths are surviving an environment, and through my suffering, I always had success in the end. Shame of being on drugs in prison, being homeless, but my ninja brothers came and got me together, and I love and my support forever, forever ninja and forever. I'm sure you understand that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes. And we were, we have done a lot of things together. That is definitely my little brother right there. He's been through a lot of stuff in the Army. He's been on the, you know, he's a sharpshooter. He's the best Army had, and he's been through a lot, and he's still struggling with that, because there's a lot of things that in the Army that you really have to, like, people, we don't even have an idea the stuff that they go through. So thank you very much. And I mean this in the highest sense. We really appreciate all the things that you do and have done to keep us safe. So Andre Brown is definitely, he's definitely a Zarifian. He's definitely he's a brother that thank you so much. We got Dr. Stephan here too, and we have Hadiva D is in the house too. I gotta get you guys gotta come up and talk. It might not be today, but unless you feel like it, you're definitely welcome to come right here on stage. Would love to hear from you. We have James Norman here too. Love that you're here, James. Thank you so much. James has been a great supporter. And over on Instagram, we have M. Hakan. I think I'm saying that right. M. Hakan is here. And we have Sky Aim Productions, Jadawa Damaris. And we really appreciate it. We're warming up. We're having fun here. We're having fun. We're doing it.
We're having a good time.
Yeah, we're having a good time. So let's go ahead and move on, everybody. So go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say we got Amira here, and I know it's her birthday.
It's happy birthday for Amira. What's that? Let's sing it real fast. What's the happy birthday, the new one?
Oh, you know my vocals. I got the morning vocals. Just say
I say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. All right, there it is. That's Amira, sweetie pie. Happy. She is definitely wow, what a blessing. What a blessing. What a blessing. All right. So let's go down to nutrition. Nutrition. Now, when I ask people what nutrition are, they'll say it's about food, it's about you know. So let's go ahead and think about that. First of all, nutrition is going to be what we learn about food and drink, and it's usually healthy food and drink. When you're not you also hear balanced diet. So we still don't know what the hell is a balanced diet. It's so unambiguous. It's so ambiguous whether. So we don't know what that is. But here's one of the definitions, and this came out of the Cambridge Dictionary. Nutrition is about eating healthy and balanced diet, food and drink to provide the energy and the nutrients you need to be healthy. Other things that we can do to make us better students of nutrition is to understand that you cannot teach nutrition without understanding physiology, chemistry, anatomy. You need all of these things to understand nutrition. The way that we've learned nutrition is the same way that we've been taught nutrition for almost 100 years ago. We still talking about the same stuff over and over and over. And the truth about it is that it's not enough information that will help us to move forward. So I'm giving you little pieces here so that you can add to what you already know. So nutrition is about eating a healthy and balanced meal. But now if we go in and we talk about how we eat, what to eat, and when to eat, how much to eat, we'll get to that later. But nutrition isn't just about food. And when you go into food, we're talking about the science of food versus the opinion of food. There are also amino acids that you should know about. The amino acids are the building blocks of protein. You probably heard about that. That's methionine, phenylalanine, tryptophan. That's isoleucine, lysine. All of these are the different, what I call essential amino acids. Other than that, the amino acids are produced in our body. We have some amino acids that are produced in our body, but the essential amino acids, which are 8 and sometimes explained as 9, are the ones that help to build our protein. So keep that in mind. That's super important. The amino acids. When people say amino acids, just know these are the components that make up protein. So let's look at protein. Let me go down here. I'm going to now. Protein is in every living cell of the body, and your body needs protein from the foods that we eat. From the foods that we eat will also help to build protein and maintain our bones, our muscles, and our skin. We get proteins in our diet. We get those proteins from meat. I know people will say, no, we don't. Yes, we do. We do get that. That I wouldn't say that is the best source of protein, but the facts, we're talking about facts now. The facts is that we do get protein from meat, but we do also get protein from other dairy products and nuts and certain grains and beans. Proteins from meats and other animal products are complete proteins. They're called complete proteins. I wouldn't read too much in this because I think, this is where I think things change as we continue to study. There used to be certain planets. I'll just say just one planet. Anybody know what that planet is that used to be there and it's not there anymore? Or, well, the planet, that particular body is there, that space body is there. But anybody remember? Let me see over here. Anybody Instagram? Anybody knows? Anybody Facebook? What's the name of that planet? Okay, I don't see any answers yet. But it was the coldest. It used to be the coldest and the smallest. Pluto, right? Okay, so anyway, so now we know about the plant proteins are considered incomplete. You must combine the different types of plant proteins to get the amino. I don't know for sure. I read some literature on that, and that doesn't stand to be true. But for right now, beans and rice, rice and vegetables, your garbanzo beans, your different types of whole grain breads, different seeds, your different grains. All of these we can extrapolate protein from. So it's really important to know this, because if not, we go along another 25 years being just as uninformed and filled with all this misinformation that we have over the years. And that's what we want to change. We want to change that altogether so that we won't keep living day after day, year after year, saying the same BS that we said all these years. So we got to change that, because we're growing. And if you're a grown person and you're still talking the same stuff that you heard, ever since you've been born, you haven't advanced. And that's what we want you to do. Next is the blood glucose. The blood glucose is the blood sugar. It's also called blood sugar because this is the main sugar found in blood and the main source of energy for our bodies. So the blood sugar, or the glucose, is the main food for our spine and our brain. Without it, we lack the energy to run those. So that's good enough right now for you to know, or you can get more and more in depth. All of these topics, you can talk or have a whole conversation about it for a long time. But again, get into yourself. This is the really important thing. I'm going to go through a couple of more so that you have an idea. Carbohydrates, we hear about this much, but carbohydrates are one of the main types of nutrients. Now, we have all these nutrients they're called macronutrients. That's protein, that's fat, and carbohydrates. Those are nutrients. We also have water, sometimes listed as a nutrient. So these are very important substances that we need to put in our body. Your body uses the sugar for energy for your cells, your tissues, and your organs. For your cells, your tissues, and organs. So you see that glucose is important, but when you add, for instance, like sugar, like if you just take sugar and you're just like in candy form, for instance, versus sugar that if you're eating a grain, the grains break down, and those when it breaks down to starches, and the starches are converted to glucose, and glucose then is distributed to all parts of the body. It enters your blood. So when it comes to eating a healthy meal, it is about knowing exactly the functionality of the eating itself, not just eat and just say, oh, I got a full belly. Let's stop for a second. We're going to do a break. Carolyn, let's reset the room. Wow, we have been moving quite fast. Go right ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Zari, for making sure my mic is on. For anyone that's just coming in, if you can share the live. And if you are on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're working on building up the YouTube channel. Also, today we are talking about diets, facts, and fiction with Dr. Zarif in The Mind of Nature here on YouTube, Facebook, and we're also streaming on Instagram as well. So, Dr. Zarif, back to you.
Thank you so much. There I go. Yeah, well, Carolyn, one of the things that we talked about today, we've been talking about all of this stuff, the carbohydrates and all that. Do you feel that, these are some of the things that can help us? Have these things been helpful? What do you think so far? Uh-oh, you're muted.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Yes, I absolutely think so. That it is very helpful to us. I was looking at James Norman, his comment, and he said, I learned from you to track your numbers and to keep a diary. So anyone that this is how I feel about it. Anyone that's sitting here and listening to what you're saying, you know, you can listen to it, but it's when you take the action, when you actually start doing those things, that's when it's going to help you. So it's absolutely helpful if you do what's being said, if you walk out, if you take the action, then it is going to be helpful to you.
Excellent. He went on to say that this is this way I'm able to evaluate how the food I eat affects my body. See,
Exactly.
this brother is smart because he's like knowing about yourself, knowing what's happening with yourself. You, like you said earlier, Carolyn, you with yourself all the time. So, you know, you should know more about yourself. There are so many of us that are in an identification crisis. We don't know about ourselves and we'll eat anything. People around the world, not just black people, but people all around the world eat some of the foods that you wouldn't dare put in your mouth. And I mean, we eat a lot of foods that will definitely, if you're talking about struggle, you can eat these foods and you can live for another day. And that's what many people do. They live from day to day. They hunt their foods, or even the people that are in a more, let's call it a civil state, then they eat so much trash that the body is constantly healing itself from the stuff that they're eating, overdoing it with the sugar and the oils and also the salt or sodium products. So, and you SOS, we went over that before, you know, the salt, the oil, and sugar. So
Absolutely.
That still stands for today, but we need to make a change on that. Go right ahead.
Well, I was going to say, one question I have for you is, what is your definition of food?
Food is what is safe and edible to eat. You know, so what is edible and what is safe, meaning that it won't kill you immediately anyway, because you got some of the foods now that can slowly make you sick. You know, so that's what food is to me. Food is also, there are non-foods. Like non-food would be something that you can eat, but it doesn't have any nutrients in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't give you any energy. I wouldn't call that a food. That would be a non-food. But those things that you can eat and give you nutrients, this is something that is very important to make sure that we get this into our body.
Absolutely. I'm just seeing a comment here from Miss J that says, I had to learn to cook and stop eating ramen noodles.
Well,
so,
good
like
for you. Yeah, that's the ramen. Oh, yeah. Thank you for reporting that, Miss J, because that is some straight. They make that's a multi-million-dollar company, and people make a lot of money off of that. Plantastic Beginners is in the house. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so Miss J, thank you very much for that, because that's what we need to change. That stuff that they've put in, all that sodium, and it's dry, it's in the cup. I've seen the whole process. And any foods, get whole foods or whole plant-based foods. Whole means that these are things that comes from the farmer's market, things that you can cook at home, things that you cut the apple. You don't have to buy. Some people are so damn lazy now, they just buy sliced apples. Like, you don't have enough time to, man, come on, take the apple bites anyway. So it's like, it's the nuttiest stuff. But that's because when we're led into, I'm black, brother, sister, queen, king. Yes, all of that stuff is super important, but it falls on the ears of people of deaf ears, because when people hear that, they'll hear it while they're eating. So this ain't no good for you, huh? Yeah, well, yeah, I know. I got to stop eating this. You know, it's the same insanity. So what happens is that we end up losing our loved ones. We increase infection and disease and illness and even death itself. So it's not something that you have to scream at something about, but it starts with ourselves. We have to make the best examples. You can't be going up telling people what to do and you looking like you're disheveled and all, you've not taken any time to care for yourself. Other things that you can look into would be digestion, electrolytes, enzymes, fatty acid, fiber, gluten, glycemic index. It goes on, a whole list of things. Find out about what you are about. And once you do that and you understand how worthy you are of eating the right foods, it will definitely, with people with these stomachs, do you know that it's like nearly, I think it's like 51 up to 51% of Black men are overweight. And then you have about 85% of Black women that are overweight and obese. So this is really becoming a problem, because once you are obese, it leads to so many other problems that the body has. A woman with a 40-inch waist, she's definitely in trouble, because now she's increased her the risk, her health risk. A man with over a 40-inch waist, same thing. So it's really, really important. A woman can be smaller than that, but I'm saying really that's obesity. But like when you start getting a woman that is larger than that, hey, it's time to pay attention to that, right? Okay, so all right, so we talked about the meaning of protein. We talked about the meaning of nutrition. We talked about the meaning of a lot of the glucose and so forth. So now let's move along to, I just want to go briefly on this balanced diet thing. What the hell is it? What is a balanced diet? A balanced diet to me is different than what is out. I pulled some stuff up here just to talk about what people are believing to be a balanced diet. To me, a balanced diet is understanding what time to eat and what to eat during that time. That's what a balanced diet is to me. So when you get up in the morning, what are the best foods to eat in the morning and why? Well, I've put in my book, and I'm sharing with you now, that the best foods are the best food groups in the morning would be fruit. Now that fruit could go along with some protein. Now, if you don't eat meat, you can simply make a lot of dishes with other grains like millet. You can make other grains like with different, like chia seeds, yarrow, mixture of different flours. But the thing that is great in the morning would be your protein, because protein is the largest molecule and takes the most time to break down. So you want to be in motion when you're eating. You don't want to eat these protein dominant foods just before you go to bed, because they will definitely, eventually, in most cases, you'll end up with parasomnia, which means you'll have a disturbance in your sleep with some wild dream. People also have insomnia, where they can't get to sleep right away because they've eaten a heavy meal, or their brain is still excited from staying in that computer or looking at TV, or they're on that phone, So all of these are things to keep in mind. When it comes to your whole grains and your protein and your oils and all of that, each one of these foods have a purpose. The grains should be eaten during your large meal, because, well, first of all, what is a grain? A grain's like, like your steel cut oats, your oatmeal, your bran, your cornmeal, all of those. Okay. Now, eaten in a smaller portions, you can eat these during from your largest meal all the way up until it's almost time for you to go to bed in small portions, because the carbohydrates are calmatives. They will help you to be calm as you break those foods down. We want to say welcome to Eclipse Soleil is here. We want to make sure that we eat the foods that complement the day. Right now, guess what? We just eat whenever we want to, whatever we want to. So guess what? We end up getting any types of sickness, any type of illness. So we got to stop doing that to ourselves, because that's why we continue to face weight control issues. We're not active enough. We also we continue to spew out these things that are just totally unfounded. They just totally unfounded. They're just ambiguous at best, and they're repeated because people have not advanced themselves in when it comes to nutrition. Let's look at the word diet. Now, if we look at the word diet, it first appeared in English, period, in 1558. Let me check that. That's the 13th century. No, I think that was the no, that was a book. Yeah, that was a book. The first book that appeared on a diet was in 1558. But the English word diet actually appeared in our literature in the 13th century, all the way back into the 13th century. Now, some people say, I don't use that word diet because diet means die. See, diet. Some people like play on words, but this is in fact the original meaning of the diets, like the Greek ancestors used dieta. And dieta simply means derived from the word dietashtan. I guess that's in that language. And which means to lead one's life. So when we really look at what is diet, diet means a lifestyle in the way that you eat. What are you eating? What is your lifestyle? People don't eat today, and I'll say this very clearly. People don't eat just because food tastes good. They certainly don't eat just because they're getting nutrients. People eat today because it is mostly a habit that is formed out of their beliefs. People eat according to what they believe. If they believe that they can eat this and it's good and God made everything good, so I'm going to eat everything, then they eat with no problem. But these people are the same ones that will eventually end up with a prescription or end up with the diagnosis of some type of disease or disorder. It is inevitable. So if we keep on eating the way that we eat, we'll definitely be getting that type of news if we are taking care of ourselves. So that's this has been around a long time. This is the 21st century. This is going all the way back to the 13th century, and that's about 8 years. So 800 years. Let me slow down a little bit. And this is something that we can change. We need to change the whole narrative of how we're eating. The first actual diet book came out in 1558 and is still in print. Luigi Cornaro. This was an Italian that was overweight. They got tired of being overweight, and Luigi had an epiphany. It's like, oh my God, I got an idea. And he was around 40 years old at the time. He said that he was unable to have a good relationship. He didn't have any control over what he was eating. He loved sex, but he couldn't have sex with his wife. And he limited himself to 12 ounces of food a day. And he had 14 ounces of wine. that was his first. I call this the wine diet because he used a lot of this is what was available to him at that time. Remember, we're talking about 1558. So he reduced the amount. This is in 1558. He reduced the amount of food and he drank 14 ounces of wine. He knew that the liquid didn't make him feel as heavy, and he probably saw where there are people that abuse wine and they're smaller in stature. So this is something. This is incredible. And then you have other people, Giacomo, which was in 1664. Fruits. He published in print fruits, herbs, vegetables, and in here he talked about eating too much meat and sugar, and he promoted other ways that Italians can eat vegetables. So I'm just going to stop right there because, you know, that's what you will hear in a lot today, the same things. We jump on fads. We jump on anything that we didn't hear. We just jump on it and we start using it and like, oh yeah, you know, things like that would be myths would be a detox. A detox is, yes, I know it's going to make some people no. Yeah, well, it is a detox. Your body is doing that anyway, and plus a detox is literally or technically it's when a person has problem with drugs and alcohol. So they have to get detox. When you're eating a lot of food that you shouldn't be eating, it seems like that would be, well, I have to detox. It isn't related to that. What you need to do, people have a good bowel movement, and they also find out more about their gut health, which we will go past right now. We'll pass that because we have just a few more minutes here. It's 9:02. We're supposed to be out of here by now. I'm going to go back to Carolyn. If you want to add to it, I got a few more things I want to add. Go right ahead, Carolyn.
Oh, absolutely. I just wanted to say, I know you always talk about starting where you are. So I feel like I had to set up this question because it comes from my dad. And he's asking, what kind of meat should we not eat? Because, you know, we have meat eaters, of course, here with us. And the goal is to, you always say the closer you are to nature, the healthier you'll be. But I did have to ask that question because, you know, ask it, what kind of meat should we not eat? So
great. That's very cool. And hello, Mr. Gento. It's good to see you. What meat not to eat would be fatty meat. That would be like gristle, and you know, the lean meat is what you want to eat. Most people get the lean meat from the loin, and that's like the hip area, the butt area. The same thing with humans. They go for the largest muscles. The largest muscles on animals are usually they're behind, like the four-legged cows and goats and stuff like that. When you look at other people that eat bush food or bush animals, these are animals that I would say not to eat because of the bacteria, because of the other things that are involved with them, and usually just the bacteria and viruses that these animals may carry. Other than that, most foods are, people eat snakes, they eat dogs, they eat cats, they eat elephant, giraffe, they eat porcupines, they eat you know, everything, eagles, name it. You know, and it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but people eat everything. Insects. Some people were making a big thing. Oh, look, he ate a cricket. You got people that are eating gorillas. You know, when people have to eat, they might prefer another animal, but if they can get a little rabbit instead of a big tiger, they're going to eat the little rabbit. So the foods that the meats that you should be eating, remember, lean meat is better. Now, some people say that eating the fat around the meat, like your chicken. They'll take the skin off the chicken. Well, people that like fried chicken, they like that skin on the chicken because that's a part of how good it is. So if you are still eating foods, your chicken, your turkey, your fish and so forth, you have to eat it with intelligence, because unfortunately, the river, the ocean, the lakes, the sea, they all are polluted. Now our earth continues to fight back to balance that out, but unfortunately what happens is that we continue to eat in the way that we are addicted to, and we eat those foods that are filled with mercury and other types of minerals, that like cadmium, these different types of poison substances. So this is really important. Our earth is made up of carbon and hydrogen and oxygen and nitrogen. That's what the earth is made up of. And those are some of the main substances. And then the main substances of the human body are the same: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Why? Because we are a little earth unto ourselves. When we pollute the earth, then the things that happen in the earth, they end up polluting the water. We can't drink it. If we can't drink water, we die. Simple. Then if we pollute the soil, the same thing. But we buy these foods that, first of all, we got a huge trust issue where we just trust that it's going to be okay. But there's many things that we need to change in our system so that we'll be safe from these recalls. Just the other day, there was a huge recall. Did anybody see that? The recall of some foods that were recalled, like in chicken. And one of the chickens was filled with cancer. The cancer was in the chicken. And there's a guy, he did he came right on YouTube and he showed how he opened the chicken. This was for Thanksgiving. And he saw all the cancer. And he was saying that if you this is why you should buy a whole chicken, so you can open the chicken and see if you make sure the chicken was healthy. But if you don't do that, they can just slice it out. The butchers can slice it out and cut it, and it'll look just like the other chicken, and you'll be eating some infected chicken. You hear anything about that, Kelvin? Well, that's
I remember seeing a video on it on I think it was on YouTube.
Oh, you did? Good. I always look for that stuff. It happens damn near every day. Okay, so all the way from the 19th century and all the way up to today, we've had all kinds of people talking about the different types of battles of being overweight and not eating enough for energy and disease and all of that. You can do this as we get out of here, is that you can do things that will help you to feel better, to perform well, to sleep deeper by doing these three things. Keep this in mind. Your exercise is super important. You can't throw it out. You got to do some exercise. Anything beats a zero. So make sure that you exercise. And exercise what you want to do. Don't get caught up with somebody else. Well, if you're one of those people that I don't exercise. Well, if you don't, you can do it yourself. You can do it, but you got to move. You can't substitute that. You got to move. And you can't hire somebody to move for you. You got to do it yourself. The other thing is you want to get deep rest. Make sure that, you stay up sometimes a little late, sometimes looking at a movie or something, but make sure it's a little late so that make sure that it, what did I just say? Make sure that it's not too late, and make sure that you don't do it over and over again. Don't let it become a habit, because that can be very destructive. The other thing, of course, is to choose food with nutrients. You got to choose the food with nutrients. Go on drzarif.com, and it'll show you the first hour, your second hour, your third hour, and so forth. It'll show you what you should be eating, how you should be eating through the day. There is nobody else on this planet that is telling you that when you eat, you should be eating foods that align with what you are doing and the activity in your day. Doesn't that make sense? For instance, if you are a nurse is moving back and forth. She's going from room to room. She's going back to the nurse's station. She's going from room. She might go into surgery. She might assist the doctor there. You know, there are other positions that do, but suppose she does. And she's moving back and forth. She's going to burn a lot of calories, especially if she's in one of those huge hospitals. So she's going to need the fuel to burn there. Now let's look at another person that's a teacher. Most of their teaching, they're in the desk, they sit down, they'll stand up and point at the board, they'll sit back down. Not so much movement there unless they're teaching, physical education, PE. But for the most part, they're not going to burn the same amount of calories. So why are they eating the same thing? People that are huge and they gain weight are because they eat well. They can eat healthy, by the way. But if they're not balancing it out with the necessary activity, then their body hoards the energy. And that's when they become overweight. How do you get rid of that? You got to move. You got to be active. Again, you got to move. You got to be active. Lastly, we talked about sleep. We talked about exercise. And now let's talk about nutrition. Again, nutrition should be, before you even think about all this fancy stuff, or I talk to you about what is a calorie and all that. I know the information that we've learned about nutrition has been too far advanced than what most people can really conceive or they can comprehend. And that's not our fault. That's because that's the way that it has been taught, to keep us ignorant, to keep us in the dark about what we eat. And when we do that, we continue to repeat the same stuff over and over and over. And people with big cash, they are the ones who are making up the South Beach and the Pritikin diet and the Atkins diet and all those diets. I know all of them. And guess what? All of them work. All of them work. Oh, I know you probably shocked. You thought I was going to say they ain't nothing. Well, here comes the part that's true also, that if you follow those diets, you will get a change in your weight. If you follow those diets, you can get a change in your discipline and how to eat. That's not the problem. Most of these diets, some diets are just some fad diets. They have they're just nonsense. But you do have diets that one can follow and they can get results. Even if there are some things some things in the keto diet I simply don't like. Some things in the paleo diet I simply don't like. The Mediterranean diet I don't like. There's some things there. But everybody and everything that is out there, you have to choose what works for your lifestyle. That's it. When a person say, "Oh man, don't eat like that," that's like a person going up to a Christian and say, "Oh man, don't worship like that." You see, it's like if somebody's praying a certain way and you say, "Like that's not the way we pray. You need to pray like that." What? You have to find your way on this planet to how do you express your Thanksgiving? How do you express your self-worth? Got it? Everybody got it? Good. Any more questions? Let me, any more questions before I get out of here? Let me see. The Miss J says, the school lunches are so gross and mostly unhealthy. You are right. Absolutely. That is something that, the food, like even students now, many students leave the campus, especially in high school, and they go and eat at the restaurants. They drive too. Now, I wish I had a car at that age. I finally did it. Yeah, that's another story. But it's really important that you eat foods that have nutrients in them. It's super, super important. And let me say that name. Do you see this, Carolyn?
Yes,
China.
I do. I believe it's Chinese.
Oh, Chinese. Ndukwe. Chinese Ndukwe. Welcome. It's great to see you here. Wow, we're filling up. It's so great. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, please put them up there. Hey, all right, my brother Eric Smart is in the house. Eric has a great body, the big muscle, strong, and he's particular about his eating too. And he is just a great example of a healthy man. And he is here, and that's even more proof that what we're saying, these are the things that really work. Hey, Charles Terry Frazier is in the house. He hauled Dr. Sorry, Carolyn from Charles. Thank you, Charles. He hauled to you too. And happy holidays, man. Great to see you. I know you've been on a vacation. Yeah, so it's all beautiful. All beautiful, everybody. Now I'm looking for questions over here for Instagram. Any questions? Any comments? Let's go ahead and entertain some questions, comments. While you're getting your questions together, let's see if you have, whatever you'd like to. I shouldn't say whatever because that sounds like I think I know everything. But ask me a question about nutrition, and I think for sure I can retort with something that's useful. Okay, ma'am, go right ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I had a thought. And when you were talking about exercising, I was thinking, how they're coming up with all these different AI tools and AI everything. I'm just waiting for them to come up with something like AI, where AI is working out for you, but you get the results from that workout.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be incredible, but that's not gonna happen because there's the only way that you can get like probably some apparatus that you can connect yourself to, and it helps to lift your legs and your arms and all that stuff.
Anything would help.
Yeah, but I think what does that do for a discipline? Absolutely nothing. You see?
No, it doesn't. That's true. But what they always go off of is what's easy.
I heard a little spat there. I was like, okay. All right. What's easy? Yes, I agree with you. That there's definitely people want ease. If people could get something else to exercise for them, they would do it. If people could get like, hey, go to sleep for me so I'll have some rest, they'll do it. And you're absolutely right. But some of the things, even today, we got some really great equipment. And we have some really great gyms, but it really comes down to the person. That comes down to you making the decision.
Absolutely. We have a question from Shirley. Any ideas on how to start the kids off?
Yes, early. You start those children off early. You start them off setting up the habits early on. They're going to see TV and McDonald's and all of that stuff. But when you set up a basis for them to have, especially if you do it in a very teaching way, like you can turn your entire kitchen into a laboratory. You can tell them these are the beans for this. This is the rice for that. This is that. When you give it give the food a definition. And you break it down where they can understand what that food means. This now becomes more than just eating and filling your stomach. You can play games with it. I did it with my children, and it's like it's funny that they'll figure out how to say carbohydrate, and this is the protein. It's not just when I was teaching my children about more than one kind of protein, they were like, "What?" It was a big thing to them. And then one of the things I would suggest not to do is look at the burgers and say, that's nasty food. That food is nasty. You don't want that, because that's the very first thing that those children are wanting. That's the very first thing they want to go and test out. Children are naturally resistant, so they're going to resist and they're going to find out I did it. And that's why they like to smoke weed. They like to, and the schools know they're smoking weed. They've been doing that for years. The school knows that somebody's drinking something and so forth. But when it comes to children, the most effective way is to teach them on early. And here it is, the key: make the example. Because if the parents are eating healthy food, those children, you are those children's heroes and sheroes. So it is best to make that example. You know, I would look out of place if I was asking somebody to, you know, like, don't eat that because that will increase your waistline and I'm not healthy myself, or I don't appear healthy. So, you know, make sure that when you are teaching somebody something that you look the part, I should say, you know, and looking the part means that you can perform, you feel great. It's good for them to see a mom and dad in shape. And it's good for them to also see you be real about it. I got to work out, you know, I need to do this or I need to that. So the answer is, the two keys is, first, start the children early. And the second one is lead by example.
Absolutely. Okay. There's a comment here from Isabel that says, and she says, what we need is Dr. Z to come back with his classes. We need you, Z. We truly do. And I agree.
Oh, well, okay. Well, we'll make that happen. We keep bringing it up. I'm telling you, it's only going to be 4 people out there working out. Everybody don't feel like that. You got some people that want to work out, but there's some people after 45 years old, they start going down and feeling like, ooh, I don't feel as young anymore. Some people take 40. They use the age of 40 to talk about the 10 years that it's going to take them to get to 50. You know, so, you know, it's like some people just, you know, waiting around to die. But if we can get people that are bubbly, that really want to do it, that's committed to it, that's not distracted by every time a Lakers game come on, they're like, I got to go, I can't make it to class, you know. We can do something. I love it. And thanks to Michelle, thank you so much, because you really led by, this is one person that led and still leads by example. So it's really, really important that we lead by example. I have folks asking all the time. Good. So let's work on that. I'm with it. We got to get a place that we can have it in, for one thing. Unless I just hit the lotto and then I have enough to build one. But the thing right now is to find a place and time, even if we started off on Saturdays only, you know, or something like that. Oh, I'm just throwing something out there. But, you know, if we can do that, you know, we can do it. It's possible, but we got to get people behind us and people that want to do it. So thank you for that, Shell. Very, very important. I would love it. We got down. Remember the Gentle Sisters doing, you know, when we were in the line doing our cross training and stuff. That was a lot of fun, and we can still do it. I mean, ain't nobody funky like us. Ain't nobody funky like us. I've seen all this stuff on the different on Facebook, and I've seen the steps and all that. If you get people that are really committed to something, if you're going to do something that's a game changer for me, I'm going to do a game changer for you. So we got to have a meeting of the minds. You know, we can't have people that work out. And when we work out, we work out. So, you know, like people that, I don't like to work out in this class. I always get all tired. You know? So it's like, that's what you're doing. You know, people that complain about, I sweat too much. Sisters, my hair, I can't, you know, my hair is braided now, you know, I understand that, you know, because then you got to wash it and then you got to do the thing. Yeah, I know, but we got to find out a way to make that stuff work with our everyday lives. Either that, we're going to always be fighting against the challenges that we have. Shell Franklin writes, anything beats a zero. That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Anything beats a zero. Remember, that's what you taught us, and that is correct. Anything beats a zero. So if you just can do a little bit, 1, 2, 3, and you're not as fast, that's all you got. Give it to me. That's all you got. Give it to yourself. Yes. Anything beats a zero. You know, if this all you did is sit in a chair and you did that 10 times there, and then you came over here and did 10 times, that's better than doing this. I sure need to work out. It's a big difference. Zero can be anything beats a zero. I know some mathematicians yeah, how about a -8? You know, so I'm ready for you when you come. Let's move on. Any more questions?
I don't see any more over here in Facebook, YouTube. I'm not sure what's going on Instagram. I'm not over there.
Okay, Instagram over here. UNHAEL is in the house. Thank you. Any question over? Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming over here. Any questions? We got a lot of folks over here. Any questions? Okay, so that means that we're doing a good job. Okay, all right, everybody. I want you to look more into, before you get on these popular diet trends. Like there's 2 diets that's trending right now, and that's the keto diet, and the other one is the Pritikin diet. The keto is a combination of Mediterranean and low carb keto diet. That's the combination. And the Pritikin is a whole food plant-based, low fat, high fiber. So yeah, those are some of the but this is, again, you don't need to be extremes. Just eat here's a plate of food. This is what I'm going to eat. In my food, I'm going to bring some brown rice for my largest meal. I'm going to have some maybe some garbanzo beans. I like that. Or I'll take the beans out. I'm going to put some string beans in it, green beans, right? Okay. And then I'm going to make me a vegetable loaf. This is why it's important for us to learn how to put these things together, so you don't have to keep on running out buying them. We make them ourselves in this house. You make them yourselves. You know, sometimes it's like, oh, I can go and make, but learn how to make veggie burgers. Learn how to make different stews and casseroles and breads, all of that stuff. Learn how to make that yourself. And of course, you get those things from our wonderful, the Black farmers. And also farmers that are professional. Remember, just because it's the color of your skin don't mean you can. So don't even expect for all Black people to want the same thing that all Black people want, because we don't know. We're so diversified. But find your tribe. We need to find each other. We need to find your tribe. That means that find the people that you are in company of, the people that lift you up, the people that pray with you, the people that meditate with you, the people that talk about what kind of foods to eat, the people that talk about health, the people that's getting their rest. Now, you can go on the other side of that and you can get people that do all the opposites of that. But is that what you want? I don't think so. Okay. So with the diet trends, what works and what doesn't work is the first thing you got to do is you got to identify what you want to change in your diet. What do you want to change in your diet? So this is something that you can do when considering a new diet plan. You want to actually specify the reasons that you want to eat differently. And this will help what you do make sense, okay? And this also, by eating in such a way, you can help to lose weight. That's one of the great benefits. You start to lose weight and you start to run lean. You're leaner. And that is, let me show y'all how. I'm gonna take this off. No, I'm just playing. It's just being lean. If you're lean, You know what I mean? Those of you that go in the shower, you want to be shower ready. When you look at yourself, yeah, I need a little more over here, a little more over there. But you don't want to be in a situation where you feel bad about yourself when you look at yourself. You know, you have flaps and curls and puffy parts. You really want to do something about that. And you can. And you can. There is no excuse. You can. It's about starting one step in front of the other. That's the beginning of that. Step 2, you got to plan for long-term diet changes. So again, just in case you forget, number 1, identify why you want to change your diet. For those of you that like, I need to eat another way, identify that. This is how you find the kind of diet that's good for you. Plan the long-term diet changes. And those 2 things, I'll leave it there. Those 2 things are super important. Okay, let me just go through this and then I'm going to get out of here. Some of the here are the facts and the fiction. I'm start off with the intermittent fasting. I know some of you are like, yeah, I do my intermittent fasting. What I do is blah, blah, blah. So I just wrote down a couple of notes here that may help. First, let's get the basics. The intermittent fasters focus on when, not what they eat. Okay. So the intermittents, they're all about the time in which they eat, not what they eat. Alternating periods of eating and fasting on a regular schedule. Now, some people only eat within a 6 or 8 hour window each day, while others choose to eat only one meal a few days a week. Drinking water is to encourage them from dehydrating. And many religions, by the way, they take on some of this disposition because it is in alignment with their religion. Remember, most people's habits and their eating habits, they actually are a reflection of their beliefs. The benefits of intermittent fasting is the flexibility is a major advantage. You can choose the schedule that you follow, and there is no food restrictions. Wow. Later on, I can talk about Lent, and I can talk about Ramadan, and I can talk about intermittent, and we'll put those up against each other. But right now, let's just continue. Although processed foods should be limited, you should not have processed foods in it, but you have people that are fasting and then they're eating refined foods and these overly processed foods. You see what I mean? It takes time. So cause of concern would be that this plan, it doesn't work well, especially for people who need to eat regular intervals, like people that have hypoglycemia, people that are taking certain medications, and certainly this isn't good for people that are lactating. Okay. All right. So there are other things that I would warn people about intermittent fasting and restricting your diet and calorie uptake or extending for an extended amount of time. This is what we got to be aware that this is not good for children and adolescents, people who are pregnant and breastfeeding, as I said, people who have diabetes, people taking certain medications, and people with a history of eating disorders. You see, you have some people that go on these diets and then they want to, I've tried everything. And what they did do is they stopped, they discontinued for whatever the reasons. But again, go on drzarif.com so you can start. In the morning, this is what you eat. In the middle of the day, this is what you eat. That's around lunchtime. And just before you go to bed, 3 to 4 hours before going to bed, you want to have something to eat. You can eat even less out. But if you start at 6 a.m., your cutoff time for eating and drinking is 6 p.m. That is if you start at 6 a.m. Now, if you start at 4 a.m., that means that you are going to end at 4 p.m. But guess what? You're going to have the distractions of TV, of eating out, the evening life, all of those things. So those are some of the things that you have to do this with commitment. Okay. There's another diet. It is called the Sturt Food Diet. And Sturt Food Diet is one of the newer patterns that's quickly gaining popularity. Foods high in polyphenols, beneficial compounds that are found in plants can boost the metabolism and your mood, and people actually lose weight and they increase their energy. So the Sturt Food, and that's SIRT, Sturt Food. Sturt Food, these are something like the beverages, for instance, include red wine. They include green tea, dark chocolate, like in the cocoa. And also the dark chocolate. They are some candies. There's in a bar, for instance, and you can mix it up and make drinks. Then apples and blueberries and all the citrus fruits, parsley, red onion, turmeric, and kale. And there's a whole line of foods, but this is what these the Sturt Food Diet is based off of. Being high, these are foods that have benefits high in polyphenols. And remember, polyphenols are these compounds that are found in plants that meat doesn't have. Okay. And then there's the keto diet, there's the Mediterranean diet, the DASH diet, there's the paleo diet. All of these are diets, and guess what they have in common? They all make money. So we might have to put out a Zarif diet or something so that you can, we can definitely give something to the Zarifians because you can actually you can feel younger, you have more energy, you have more strength, so on and so on. I mean, I love the idea. Aging to me is so cool. I love the gray, as you see. I seen brothers with the black tint and all that. It just doesn't work for me. I know they think they look younger, or they may look younger, but I had time. I had fun when it was all black, and now it's another phase, and that's what we embrace. What you are. Embrace that. Some people see a gray and, oh my God, pluck it. No, don't pluck it. It'll spread fast. They go crazy. But these are some of the things that we've learned, and we're learning to love ourselves from. Okay, Carolyn, let's go ahead before any closing remarks here that you would like to. Carolyn, while you're thinking of that, let me go into this. There's an extreme diet that a lot of people are doing to lose weight. It's extreme, but it's not good because there's no protein and fat in it. It's called a watermelon diet, or they call it watermelon fasting. Don't do it. The reason I'm saying don't do it, again, because it doesn't have any nutrients in it. Now, it has a lot of sugar in it, and people who have any kind of health conditions, they might face some problems. Like if you have diabetes, or if you have hypoglycemia, if you have lupus, if you have any kind of, just name it. These are diseases and sicknesses that you may make worse. So check with your PCP first. Ask some questions. He or she will answer it really fast. They'll tell you right away. Man, you might go a couple of days or something, but you don't have to be so extreme. Okay. All right. Now go right here, Carolyn. I'm sorry. I just had to get that.
Oh, no, I don't recall what the question was, but there is one diet that I remember I took part in, and that was I think it was called the Beyonce diet. It was like the water with the syrup and the pepper and lemon. I remember I did do that diet before, and oh, that's what reminded me of it when you said the watermelon diet. So don't take part in that either. That one's there's just no nutrients, right? There's nothing that would help you with that. So that was something that I remember doing before. But there is a question here. There's one question from Michelle that I wanted to get, and it says, question reads, Z, is it true that most health issues for even the healthiest and those who work out daily and eat well can be genetics?
Absolutely. It's like the question is it true that most health issues, even the healthiest, or those who work out daily and eat well? Yeah, you can still have some health issues. Even if, like myself, I think I'm healthy and I do healthy stuff. This is my life for me, but it doesn't exempt me from disease. You can still have problems with your digestive system, your heart, your brain, and so forth. And this can be something that is in your family tree. This can be in your gene pool. Other things are like sometimes people are good doesn't mean healthy. Like some people say, man, I'm eating good, but that doesn't automatically mean healthy. So we have to look at what people are eating. Some people will eat a plate full of ribs and have a perfect potato salad on the side, and they'll have maybe a salad, and they'll do that. They say, I'm justifying what I'm doing, but it really takes time. This is not like one little talking thing that we have to sit down and we talk about it. When you go to on the same tip with what Shell is talking about, there are, on the other hand, I should say, Shell, is that we can go to like Lagos. Now, Lagos is the capital of Nigeria. And Nigeria is the hot spot for the whole continent of Africa, and if you ever look at, you can search this, you can search it right now. And if you look at what people eat in Nigeria, and you'll see all the beautiful skin, all those beautiful, the hair, all those beautiful, the clothes that people wear, the ingenuity that the people have. But when you go out on the street for street food and you see different wild or bush foods, like monkeys and porcupines, anteaters, and all that stuff that those African people eat, and that are available in for consumption daily. These foods are sold so fast. I mean, they're making huge money, and people actually eat them. They eat the testicles of a bull. They eat the snout of a wild boar. They take out the tongue of a cow. All of this stuff is, we eat some of that. We eat right here in America. And all of these are, again, they will magnify, or they will initiate great feelings when you remember we was in the backyard and we did this and we did that, and we see good feelings, and it has, like, they remember the family was together and everybody was eating. Food is a huge part of that, except we just have to take time to make it healthier. You see, if people came over my house to eat now and it was Turkey Day, a lot of them would be disappointed because the turkey wouldn't be here, you see. But this is just one of the things. We got a lot of work to do because we have a lot of distorted views in nutrition. And until we understand how it affects us, what those difficulties and all those challenges include, we'll continue doing it. But sometimes, back to the question here, is like, you can look like you've wrecked and you can be healthier than the person that looks like if they race, there's, you know, the other, but you have people even that their bodies are made in such a way that, have you ever seen these guys that like they're on YouTube and they're like 60, 70 years old and their bodies cut like crazy? You know, and you got sisters that are like that. That, I mean, their bodies are cut like crazy, look really good. Like Arnetta Champion. She's, I mean, Arnita, I'm thinking I have another friend, Arnetta. Arnita Champion, incredible. She's over 50 years old. Her body is crazy. Chef Babette, incredible. Her body is in crazy shape for her age. And I think she's 70 something. And I mean, people are showing you that. But again, we need to know the difference between health. A person can look great on the outside, but if you're not taking care of inside, you might be a ticking bomb. So you need to follow these despite a lot of that stuff is your DNA. You got guys that were born with a six pack. We talked about that before. And you got these guys that are 20, 30 years old, and then you can have a pack just like me in 30 days. And that is not true. That is not true. They're selling you a package. So, you know, a lot of these people are doing this because they want to sell a certain product. And they'll tell you, here, I got Wipe Away. And you just take it on and you rub it on your stomach and you wipe away the fat. And some people would believe that. Now, I sound silly right now, right? Ain't no way in the world somebody gonna wipe away the fat. But do you know I can put $1 million or less behind that and put it on TV or put it on the internet and I will sell?
It's about the marketing.
It's the marketing. All you got to do is convince people. And
right.
We end up eating this stuff that makes us sick because marketing makes it look so good. You know, I do not eat meat, but when I see a burger come there and that burger looks like the kind of burger that I like to eat, I'm like, excuse me for a minute, I'm swallowing, you know, because, and that's just because, but I'm thinking, of course, veggie burger. But if I look at that burger, I'm like, and a person that tells you that they don't, they're not being, you know, fair. Okay. All right, everybody. So we also have another person, we have, and let me say this right, Ritesh Tunagar. I think that's Ritesh Tunagar is here. Thank you very much for being here. All right, everybody. So is it time to get out of here? And I would probably say yes. There's a lot of other things that we could talk about. And I would just save these for later on. But we did cover a lot of stuff. But you know what? In closing, I would like to say, make a choice. Make a choice of how you want to live. Make a choice of how you want to feel. And if your life is one of those things that you will make a decision, your life is, what should I say? Worth, yeah. If your life is worth taking care of, you might eat that crap sometimes. If I stayed here and I ate 12 cookies a day, I would make a change in my appearance. You know, if I would say we're going on the coffee diet, and it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but everything from the coffee diet to the ice cream diet has been successful in the United States. The ice cream diet. But if people can go to a place that's called Fat Burger, I don't know if you've heard that before, but Fat Burger, and you order, it's telling you it's Fat Burger, and you get it, it's like, well, okay, good. They're telling you straight out that it's Fat Burger. It can clog up your veins. But most people is like, okay, Fat Burger, I just have one of these and give me a Diet Coke. And again, put that salad on it, okay? It's hilarious. All right, I said, did I miss something here? Somebody, let me see, same bottle with, Let me see.
Same with bottled water as far as the fad diets and things like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, with the bottled water, that sure is a hustle, because guess what? You can make your water as clean as the water that you have in your bottles. Now they might have other water that you get from a stream that might be a little healthier, higher alkaline amount, but for the most part, now what, instead of looking and continue buying hundreds of dollars worth of bottled water, I might have something for emergency. I have bottled water in my freezer, but I use it for, like ice packs. I use it for ice pack. If they're emergency and I'm somewhere and there's some bottled water, I'll drink it. But usually I have everything already, in a thermos, and I'm ready to drink it. Is clean. But as I've told you all before, remember you can get a 5-stage water filter, and one is called Mavita, the other one is called Zero, and they're affordable. Mavita costs a little more than the Zero, but nevertheless, they're 5 stages, and they're known to be one of the cleanest. Look it up. Don't just take my word for it, because I don't want to be one of those guys that told you that you're going whatever, and you like, I don't want to be in that conversation. Is look it up so that you will say, Dr. Zarif said this. Let me look it up and see what. And then once you read it, you'll get it, and then you'll start saving money, and you'll start saving your health. Okay, so that's the deal on that bottled water. They're making the bottled water is like the new gold. They're still making new. You can get your own private label, but it's like you can make your own. Those filters are strong. Those three stage filters aren't as good, of course, as I think they go all the way down to 2, but the 3 stage isn't as good as the 5. We still, even after the 5, you still may find traces of pharmaceuticals in the water. That's everywhere, you see. But when it comes to our water, last thing I want to say is that we have some of the safest and some of the best laboratories to clean the water on the planet. When it comes to clean water, we have some very healthy water. Now, we have other parts of the city. We have places where people are still fracking. We have places where there's polluted water there. That's for another day. We'll save for another day. But right now, know that we take little step by step so that you can do little by little. And this is very important. We have Eclipse Soleil is saying, you always make my day. Reinforced. I love it. All right. Beautiful. I'm glad we're doing that for you. Thank you so much. I want to reinforce everybody's belief in yourself to start eating the foods that make you the best. Be around people are so important. You want to be around people that you love, man. It makes a huge difference. People that you hug and that you feel the hug, not the little cutie thing, but a big hug, like my brother, my sister. You want to be close, and of course with your partner, you want to have people to be together, like Michelle Franklin and her husband, for instance. They've been together for I forget how many years. Shell, tell me how many years. I know it's been a long time, and that I think is over 40. I think it's over 40 years. Yeah, but they've been together a very, very long time, and all of you that have relationships. 43 years. Let's give it up, y'all. Yeah, 43 years. That's really good. I think my co-host has frozen. So anyway, I know she's clapping, but thank you. 43 years is incredible. And all of the other people that have been married for these significant amounts of time, we congratulate you. Keep up the good work. Set great examples, everybody, because through your example, that's how people really get it without someone forcing them to do it. Remember, keep in mind the mind of nature. The closer you are to nature, the healthier you'll be. And what we mean, the closer you are to the whole natural foods, the healthier you'll be. Okay, have a beautiful, beautiful rest of this weekend. And thank you for hanging with us. It's been a great, great sharing. And please pass the news. I'm Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist.